Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to another episode of Sunday School.
Hi.
Do you want to say hello to everyone?
Hi.
We've been really missing everyone, haven't we, Poppy? Yeah. And we hope that you're all keeping safe and you're all keeping well. Now, who have we been learning about in other stories?
Moses.
Moses. So we're going to learn another story about Moses this morning. But first of all, will we recap the story using all your toys?
Yeah.
Okay. So here is Moses, but at the very start of our stories about Moses, he was just a little baby boy. And he grew up in Egypt at a time whenever the Pharaoh was really cruel and really evil, and he wanted to kill all the baby boys and the children of Israel. So Moses' mummy made a plan. What did she make, Poppy?
A basket.
A special basket. Now, I don't think it would have been pink like this one, but use your imagination. And what did she do with Moses?
Take them in the basket.
So she put him into the basket, and then what did she do with the basket?
Take this into the river.
She took it down to the river and floated him off into the bulrushes. Now she didn't leave him there on his own, because look, there in the bulrushes there was someone. Who was it? It looks like Moses' sister. Now, do you all remember what her name was? If you do, shout it out. What was it, Poppy?
Miriam.
It was Miriam, that's right, good girl. Now she watched over baby Moses, and eventually someone came along by the banks of the river, and they found baby Moses. And who was that? Who found baby Moses?
The princess.
One of the princesses, and she loved baby, so she took baby Moses in, and he grew up in the palace as one of the princes of Egypt. Now eventually baby Moses became a man, and he grew up, and his job in Egypt probably would have been to watch over the children of Israel, because what were they in the land at that time? What was the
Slave.
They were slaves, so Pharaoh treated them really badly, and he made them work really, really hard. And one day Moses spotted one of the Egyptians being really cruel to one of the children of Israel, and he didn't like it, one bit. So he went over and he hit that Egyptian man, and he died. So Moses got really scared, and he ran away from Egypt, and he ran away to his father-in-law's house. And what was his job there, Poppy?
And a shepherd.
He was a shepherd, that's right. Enter sheep. Here comes the sheep. So he was a shepherd. And one day he spotted something unusual. So he spotted a bush. Now, not really very unusual, but this bush was on fire. And it was on fire, but Moses looked really closely at the bush, and the bush wasn't being burned up. It was a bit unusual. So Moses came to the bush, and all of a sudden he heard a voice, and the voice said, "Moses, Moses." And this was God speaking to Moses. And eventually he went on to give Moses a command, and he said, "I will send you to Pharaoh, that you may bring my people out of Egypt." So Moses went back to Egypt, and he went to see Pharaoh, and he told Pharaoh what God had told him, that he wanted Pharaoh to let his people go. Now, do you think Pharaoh was going to just let that happen?
No.
No. Pharaoh didn't believe in the one true God, and Pharaoh needed the children of Israel to do all his hard work. So God had lots of plans in mind, and he was going to show Pharaoh through these special things how powerful he really was. Okay, so God was going to start performing some really special signs in Egypt. Now, special things happen, like all the water in the land turned into blood. Okay, and then other things happen, like God sent lots of frogs into the land, and the frogs were everywhere. They were hopping around everywhere, even into people's beds and in their houses, everywhere. There was flies everywhere. And then other things happened, like all the animals in Egypt got sick and died. Oh dear. So God had sent lots of special signs. He sent 9 different signs, and still Pharaoh said no every single time. He said, "No, I am not letting your people go." So God had one last special sign and plan, and this was going to be the worst one for Egypt. So God told Moses to go and tell all the children of Israel to do something really special. So they had to get a lamb, and they had to kill the lamb, and they had to get his blood. And what did they do with the blood, Poppy?
Painted it.
So they had to paint the blood all across the top of the door. That's it. And all down the sides. That's it. Down both sides of the door. And that was going to be God's special sign. So that night, God passed over Egypt, and the firstborn child in every house that didn't have blood over the doors was killed that night. And there was lots of people killed across Egypt that night. And eventually, this was the one thing that made Pharaoh say, "Get out of Egypt," didn't he? He said, "Get out." Moses and all the children of Israel left Egypt that very same night, and they all fled. But eventually they came across a big, massive obstacle. There was something in their way, and it was a big, massive pile of water called the Red Sea. And eventually Pharaoh had actually changed his mind again, so all the Egyptians were chasing after the children of Israel, and the children of Israel thought, oh, there's no way out, but God did something really special again. What did he do, Poppy?
Open the sea.
He opened up the sea, so let's see. Oh, the sea just opened up, and the children of Israel just walked right across, didn't they? Here they come, all the way across. Now, that's where we've got to in our story. And eventually they escaped from the Egyptians. So the children of Israel had escaped from the Egyptians. They had crossed the Red Sea and they were out into the wilderness. But how was God going to help them through this next part of their journey? Because very quickly the bellies of the children of Israel started to rumble, and they got really thirsty, and they got a bit fed up. But God was still with them, and God was going to look after them. So we're going to watch a quick video now about the next part of the story, and we'll speak to you in a second.
How many of you have ever been hungry after school? We all have. It's been a long day at school, lunch was hours ago, and now it's time to eat. So what do? We ask our mom or dad, grandma, or older sibling when dinner is, and we ask them for dinner. Now, how ridiculous would it be if when they served up your mac and cheese, we thought to ourselves, I don't trust that mom and dad are gonna make me dinner tomorrow. I better keep some of this in my pocket, just in case. No way, that'd be ridiculous. But guess what? That's what the Israelites did in our story. God told the Israelites that he would give them what they needed for each day. And that's what God did. God sent bread from heaven each morning. Isn't that crazy? Where on earth did that come from? Ugh. Where did... Anyway, the point is, every single morning, God sent bread for the Israelites. And God sent quail from heaven in the evening. Huh. I would have thought I was going to get hit in the head again, but I guess I'm okay. This is a chicken. Every day, God gave them enough for that day. But the Israelites didn't trust that God would continue to give them what they needed for each day. They kept some food and they stored it up for later. But that food spoiled. They should have trusted God for their daily bread. God gave them bread for Monday, for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Every single day, God gave them bread. Jesus taught this exact same thing. When Jesus was teaching his followers how to pray, he prayed saying, "Give us this day our daily bread." God gave the Israelites their daily bread. And they were in the wilderness for 40 years. And over the course of that time, there were things that they needed. They needed water, manna, and quail. And they could not get these things on their own. They had to trust that God would give those things to them every single day. So what does this mean for us? Well, you might be in a wilderness. That wilderness probably isn't a desert, but it might be a tough class at school. It might be that you're afraid. It might be sickness, or that you feel lonely, or maybe there's confusion at home. So here's the thing. In the middle of your wilderness, there are things that you need too. You might need peace or healing, to know that God is with you, or many other things. You can trust that God will give you those things when you need them. Whether you're in the wilderness for 40 years, 40 days, or just 40 minutes, you can trust God every day. Sometimes we do what the Israelites did though. We often want God to give us direction for the next 10 years, but he's promised us to give us direction for today. We want God to give us peace for the rest of our tough situation, but he's promised to give us the peace that we need for today. God does not want you to worry about if you're going to have the peace that you need, the friends that you need, or the healing that you need, but God does want you to trust in him that he will give you what you need for today. We're called to have a relationship with God where we trust him for our daily needs. Here's the last thing I want you to see. God gave us Jesus. God gave us his only son. He gave us Jesus as a sacrifice to pay the price for our sin. If God gave us Jesus, would he not also give us everything else that we need? Our God is good. He loves you and he cares about your needs. You can trust in him every single day to provide for what you need.
It's time to do our craft. This is mine.
And here's another couple that were sent in this week. So here is one from Jessica. That is really, really nice. And you flick it across there, Poppy. And here's one from Emily. Again, that is really, really good. So everyone just keep sending those in to Keith. We love seeing all the things that you're making at home. Okay, boys and girls, so that was another amazing story from the life of Moses. And just as God was in control of everything that happened to the children of Israel out in the wilderness, that's the same today. God's in control of everything that happens to us, even though everything seems a bit crazy at the minute, with no school and not being able to see our friends as we normally would. God's still in control of it all, and God is still by your side, and he is the best friend that you or I can ever know. So this morning, boys and girls, I hope you've enjoyed that wee story. We hope that you're all staying safe and that everyone will stay well, and we'll see you all really soon. Bye.